What's up, guys? Welcome to your Bitcoin update. We'll also be taking a look at our targets on Litecoin and Ethereum. Definitely stick around for the whole video. Don't forget we have a free Discord group in the description below the video. Definitely check it out. It's totally free. Let's get into it. All right, guys, as always, this is not financial advice, trading advice, nor is it investment advice. And don't forget, we do a Ledger Nano S hard wallet giveaway every Monday. That will be tomorrow. All you have to do to enter to win is make sure you subscribe to the channel, tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post videos, smash that like button, and leave your comment below. That will get you entered to win. I'll pick a random comment from a random video. Now, for those of you that don't know how, to subscribe to the channel, come down, click the subscribe, hit that like button. That really helps the channel out. Take a second out, do that, and share the video if you would, and let's get into it. So looking at the 15-minute chart, we had our target here of this. Let's move this over. Measuring this triangle here, we have a target of 42,100, right in that range. Now we look like we're headed there. We talked about this yesterday. Everybody's expecting a bounce here. We may get a nice bounce. We may come back up to test the 44 range. If that breaks, we could continue higher and get a rally today. It is possible. It is the weekend. But if we do end up coming back down, breaking this area, my next target's the 40,000. And that is just looking at this as a flagpole, and this being a bear flag would get us down to that range. Also, we'll take a look at it in the 1 hour. But another thing I wanted to point out here, guys, was I pointed this out in the Discord. We were getting lower highs right here on the 15-minute. Let me zoom in right here, and we're getting higher highs in the RSI. That was I call it the RSI reset. It's hidden bearish divergence, and as you can see, it did play out nicely. Now let's hold on one second. All right. Now, if we look at where we're at now, sorry about that, guys. We look like we're definitely headed down to around that 42. Now, remember, the market doesn't always do what everybody expects. We could come down to the 42 range at some point today and just blow down right through it. So be aware of that. Everybody is expecting a bounce there. Like I said, we may get a quick spike up and then continue down, kind of a fake out. So be cautious in this area. Let's look at the 4 hour. I talked about this yesterday, said if we broke out of this in the RSI, it was coming down, and obviously that's what happened. And we were looking at this as a possible ABC correction. If we put the Fibonacci extension on here, go from the swing high to the swing low, which the swing low is here. Whoops. I don't know why that came off. But we go from the swing high, which is up here, go down to the swing low, and up to this swing high up here. And the 1-to-1 extension gets us down to about that 38. So it's possible we could see that. That could be bullish if that's a 1 or an ABC correction. And I'll show you what that looks like. Would be like this, A, B, and C correction. That is a possibility, and then we could go for another high. But you have to keep in mind, this could also be, let me get this off of here. In the very bearish case scenario, could be A, B, or I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3 could come all the way down to this range here, the 1.618. We could get a big C wave, and that doesn't mean we drop straight down, guys. It could bounce around. But this is the bearish case, come down to around the $30,000 range. And then if we seen wave 4, you know, back up into the 38 to 41,000 range, and wave 5 could be lower in the mid-20s. Obviously, that's speculation right now, but this would be wave A, and then we would get a B back up to maybe 50,000 range, and then continue down in the bearish case. And we'll take a look at both cases. So as of right now, like I said, this is our old resistance, became support. We got a bounce off it, and that's around the 44,150 range. If this continues to be our resistance. Like I said, I believe we're coming down to the 41 range, somewhere in there. And that is a measured move off of this rising channel that we broke out of. If we take a measured move from top to bottom of this channel, gets us right around that range, 41 to 42,000 area. So be aware of that. Be careful. Let's look at, we're getting a little bit of divergence in the 1 hour, but we're going to go over to the 4 hour. But before we do that, if you guys are interested in trading, definitely check out Prime XBT. By far my favorite exchange. They don't trade against you like the other exchanges. I'll leave a tutorial on how to use their margin up top, and you can use my promo code SAVVY50 to get you 50% on top of whatever you deposit as a bonus. So if you put in a Bitcoin, you'll get half a Bitcoin to use towards your margin. SAVVY25 will get you 25% off your fees. All right, let's look at the 4 hour. So the 4 hour, we're looking at this as a rising wedge. We've been watching this forever. And like I said, if we got another pump up to test the top of this, and it would have to pump very quickly to get up to the top, to the 62 range. But if we are going to make another new all-time high this year, maybe 65,000, somewhere in there. But if we break this top trend line, that's extremely bullish for Bitcoin. Depending on where it's to break, you know, we could see at 80,000. We could possibly see that 90, 100,000 that people are talking about. But first, we'd have to break this top trend line, get support on it to continue up. The bearish case here is if we come back down to retest the bottom of this wedge. Obviously, if we do get down to this range, and that could be around that 38,000 that I was talking about, we will most likely get a nice big bounce off it. But if we do come back down to test it or even break it here, let's say we broke the 38 here, our measured move could be around the $14,000 to $16,000 range. If it bounces and doesn't break down till over here, then we would be looking at, you know, $18,000, $19,000, $20,000 range. We'll keep an eye on that. Like I said, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'll also leave some tutorials up top on the EMA strategies and some other things you guys might want to check out. But as you can see, the EMAs are looking pretty bearish here. Let me zoom in so you can see it. We have broken the 200 EMA on the 4 hour. If we open and close another 4 hour below this, then I believe we are headed down further. This is looking pretty ugly, guys. Not to say that it, you know, on the weekend we could get a huge pump, but let's take a look at the longer term. So as you guys know, I've been putting this fib channel in here. We topped out both in 2013 and 17 on the top fib here. If we look at the 0.236, we got a huge rejection over here. Now in the bullish case, we come back up and break this, you know, $62,000 to $65,000 range, get support, and then come up to retest the top fib within, you know, anytime this year, possibly next year, would be that $100,000 to $200,000 Bitcoin. That is the bullish case. Otherwise, we come back down to the 0.382 fib on here, and that'd be around the 32,000, depending on how quick. 30,000 if we drop down in the next week or so. If we break back below this and get resistance, you know, we obviously could be in a long-term bear market. This is the 3-day chart that we've been watching. As you can see, lower highs in the RSI, higher highs in the price action, bearish divergence. And again, this is on the 3-day. And then we had this huge bearish engulfing candle here. The wicks engulfed the prior candle and the body engulfed the prior candle body. That is bearish divergence. We are getting supported at the 13 EMA around 43.8. Our next stop for here is around the $40,000 range, which is the 21 EMA. I would expect at least a nice bounce there, and then we could continue all the way down to the 55 EMA, which is around that $30,000 range. But be aware that if you look at the lows here, depending on how the 3-day closes, and we have another day, but we are making bullish divergence there. But this bearish divergence is pretty damn strong right here, so be careful. This is just speculation, but this is the funding rate, still favoring the bears slightly. Could this be a head and shoulders forming here? And we don't know that for sure. This is speculation, but if this was to happen and we come back down to retest it at some point, if this was the neckline here, we could get a measured move all the way down to around the 9,000 range. That would be at 80, 84%, 85% correction. Not to say it's going to happen, but you guys need to be aware of this. Get your emotions in check. Don't trade off emotion. But this could also you know, we could move this trend line and make the left shoulder over here. Could get something like this, which would make a smaller correction. And let's see where that would take us. You measure from the head, the top of the head to the trend line. And let's say we got a bounce here, made a right shoulder over here. That would get us down to around the $15,000 range. So depending on how this plays out, if this plays out, we'll keep an eye on it. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share the video. Smash that like button. Let's get into... So I've been looking at this fractal. If you want to go into more detail on it, check out yesterday's video. But as you can see, we have a rising channel. Every time we break out of that rising channel, this is back in 2017, we had our hype cycle, parabolic bull run, and then we had our bear market. Same thing over here in 2019. We had the rising channel, broke out of it, had our hyper, well, I don't want to say hyper, but parabolic hype rise bubble, and then we popped. Could this be a big fractal of these two? It's very possible. And again, if that was the case, back here in 2017, we corrected 84, almost 85%. Back here in 19, it was 72%. If we were to get an 85% correction, could be around the $86,000 to $9,000 range. So let's take a look at Litecoin. We're almost at the bottom of that wedge that we've been talking about. If this bottom of this wedge breaks, guys, our next stop could be here at the 200 EMA around 113. I would expect at least a bounce back there and come retest the bottom of this wedge. We could see as low, we do have a measured move, as low as, depending on where this was to break, if it was to break here, which I don't expect it to, but it definitely could, be aware of that. Be around a $40 Litecoin, and it doesn't mean it shoots straight down there, guys. It'll bounce around. This could take months, even a year. So but if we do get a nice bounce here, come back up to make a new all-time high, and we break the top of the wedge in the bullish case scenario, we could be looking at a $400, let's see where we'd be at, around a $400 Litecoin. So be aware of that. Definitely watch this line. I've had this here for a long time. If we break the bottom of this wedge, guys, it could get pretty scary. Let's look at Ethereum. People were calling me crazy yesterday for calling a possible 940. That's still a possibility. It doesn't mean we go straight down there again, guys. Let's see what happens here. We have broken through old resistance, became new support. We broke through it, so it should be resistance again at around the 1422 range. We could definitely be seeing a sub 1,000 Ethereum. In the bullish case, we come back up to retest this around the $1,600, $1,700 range. If we break back inside this falling or rising channel and get support, then we could get bullish again. But until then, it's still looking pretty bearish. If you guys enjoyed the channel, definitely check out my wife's webpage, inkyorimage.com. A lot of great gift ideas on here. She does this all herself. It's quality stuff. She can put pictures or sayings or whatever you want on glass, aluminum, ornaments, all kinds of different stuff. There's also a crypto section. Check it out. Check out the other affiliate links down below. Also, thanks a lot for watching. You guys rock, and I will see you tomorrow. But don't forget to subscribe. You can click the Crypto Savvy logo above my head. Smash that like. Leave your comment below, and I'll see you tomorrow. Later.